Yo, and what is going on YouTube, and welcome back for another Oathbreaker Deck Tech. Now guys, if you are interested in the Oathbreaker format, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe if you have not already. If you guys are interested in MagiKids, the official charity of the Oathbreaker team, make sure to check out those links down below. But guys, let's jump right on into this video. Now my Oathbreaker of choice for today is going to be Davriel, the Rogue Shadowmage, paired with his signature spell of Dark Deal. Now Davriel enters the battlefield for 2 and a black with 3 loyalty and the following abilities. Now his static abilities: at the beginning of each opponent's upkeep, if that player has 1 or fewer cards in hand, Davriel deals 2 damage to that player. His -1 target player discards a card. Now his signature spell, Dark Deal, and this could be a lot of different cards, for 2 and a black, is sorcery. Each player discards all the cards in his hand, then draws that many cards -1. I prefer this card just because of its cycling ability. We're just going to get new cards ourselves. Sometimes that's beneficial. But now, before we jump off into this deck, we're going to take a look at the other Planeswalker in the deck, and that's going to be Liliana the Veil. Now, Liliana enters the battlefield for 1 black with 3 loyalty. We're really bringing her in for her +1 to have target player discard a card, or her -2 target player sacrifices a creature. Now, guys, welcome to discard.deck. We are running a huge package of cards that are just going to force our opponents to discard all the cards in their hand and then try to win the game. Now, the first package we're going to look at is kind of the package that's going to keep us alive for a while, and that's going to be the creatures. Just because we have creatures to kind of protect our own face, we want to get these down as fast as possible. There's an extremely low mana curve just because of these, just because we want to get out ahead of our opponents and get them down to 1 or 0 cards in hand. We have creatures like Ravenous Rats, Black Cat, Miasmic Mummy, Rotting Rats, Asylum Visitor, Burglar Rat, Headhunter, Alley Grifter, the Augur of Souls, and Liliana's Spectre. All of these creatures are coming into the battlefield and either forcing our opponents to discard cards, or when they attack and deal combat damage, they're going to have to discard cards, or when they block, they are going to have to discard cards. These are really good just to kind of get our opponent's hand down really quickly early on in the game. Now, the second package we're running, it's going to be a lot of large lot of sorcery speed spells. Now we have Raven's Crime, Myers Toll, Hymn to Torok, Whispers of Emrakul, and all of these cards are going to force target players to discard 2 cards. So yeah, combo players, watch out. Blue players, definitely watch out. We're going to come after you. Now we also have cards like the Pox combination with Pox and Smallpox, and these are going to be universally kind of bad for everyone, but Pox forces players to lose a third of their life, discard a third of their cards, sacrifice a third of their creatures, and sacrifice a third of their lands. Now, we also have Smallpox, which is just a limited version of what I just kind of described to you, but we are going to be the control right here. We are going to make sure that our opponents never really generate a whole lot of board state. Now, we also have some universal discard. Tassiger's Cruelty, Arterial Flow, Vicious Rumor, Strong Arm Tactics. All of these cards are going to force each opponent or all players to discard cards. Now, if it's all players, I just want to make sure to have the caveat of make sure you get your sequencing right, because you don't want to end up discarding a card that you need to kind of finish the game out. Now, this deck is very, very enchantment-based heavy. We have cards like Bottomless Pit, Necrogen Mist, where at the beginning of each player's upkeep, that player has to discard a card from his hand or at random from his hand. We also have Opposition, which whenever a player successfully casts a spell, that player chooses and discards a card. Now, we're making all of these players discard, so what's the payoff? The first is going to be a couple of cards that work on a similar axis with Quest for the Nihil Stone, Shrieking Affliction, and the Rack. So these cards at the beginning of a player's upkeep, if they have either 0 or 1 cards in hand, it's going to deal damage to their life total. If you had all 3 of these in play and they had 0 cards in hand at the beginning of their upkeep, they would take 8 damage. Now, we also have a very common payoff for discard, and that's going to be Waste Not. This is just the value engine of this deck. Be careful playing this card too early, because otherwise you're probably going to get targeted, just because this card creates incredible value off of the deck, creating zombies, adding mana, drawing cards. We also have cards like Liliana's Caress and Megrim. Wherever an opponent discards a card, it's going to deal 2 damage to their life. But the one thing I did notice is this deck is about 80% of the way there. To get the remaining 20%, I added Exsanguinate and Torment of Hailfire just to clear up that remaining life total and just kind of roast them alive. We also have some targeted creature removal with Go for the Throat, Cast Down, Hero's Downfall, and Murderous Compulsion, just to make sure our opponents aren't getting away from us too quickly. Now we also have Call to the Netherworld. Now this is the last card that I added in, and it's really for just a little bit of graveyard recursion in case we want to bring back a creature like Liliana's Spectre, the Rotting Rats, just to force that additional discard. But guys, that's going to be it for this Oathbreaker Deck Tech. If you guys have any videos you'd like to see in the future, make sure to leave a comment down below, and I'll make my way through them as quickly as possible. As always, make sure to watch out for the battle series. We are working on kind of recording and editing some new content for the channel, but make sure to hit the like and subscribe button, because what else are you gonna do? I'll catch you guys later.